What's up, guys? It's me, Tony G, coming to you from Horseshoe Casino, Baltimore. This is episode 89 of my vlog. In this episode, we're here to play some cash. It's Friday evening. We're going to see how the tables are. I'm going to be playing some 1-3, and I think I'm going to buy in for about $200. Hope you guys enjoy it. Here we go. Before you get into the episode, do me a favor. If this is your first time here, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps the channel out a lot, and it helps me out, and I appreciate it. If you're not new here and you're coming back, appreciate you coming back. Thanks for coming back. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Let's get into it. All right, let me start off by saying this was probably one of the best sessions I've had ever. There weren't too many hands that I played that I did not win. I lost a lot of dumb moves on my part after I won some hands, but like I said, I played pretty well. Now in this hand, I have the Queen of Diamonds, the Queen of Clubs. It's either the first or second orbit. I finally get a decent hand. I'm in middle position. It gets to me and I raise it to $12. There are 3 callers, so we go 4 ways to the flop, and the flop is the 2 of clubs, the King of Spades, and the Jack of Spades. It checks all the way around to the cutoff, and he throws out a bet of $12. The big blind tanks for a good 10 or 15 seconds. He calls, and the under the gun folds, and then I decide to just go ahead and throw the $12 in there. I'm feeling decent about my queens. We are now 3 ways to the turn, and the turn is the 6 of clubs. Doesn't really help me out at all. I know I'm not going to get there obviously on a flush draw because there's not enough cards left. So it checks over to the big blind, who throws out a bet of $45, and it's just way too high for me at this point, and I muck my cards. Okay, in the next hand, I have the 6 of diamonds, the 6 of hearts. I'm in middle position. Yes, I limp in for the $3. The big blind checks his option, and obviously I'm not going anywhere. We're just heads up to the flop. The flop comes out the 6 of clubs, the 2 of spades, and the Jack of hearts. The big blind checks, and I throw out a bet of $10. He calls, and the turn is the Queen of Spades. The big blind this time throws out a bet of $16, and I think for a short amount of time, but not too long, I go ahead and throw in the $16. And the river is the 8 of hearts. He checks, and I check, and he shows down the Jack of spades, the 4 of clubs, and we show him our set of 6s, and we obviously are good to go. Okay, a couple orbits later, I finally get in a hand with the crazy lady to my left. I have the 9 of diamonds, the 3 of clubs. I'm in the big blind. There are 2 callers, and I just check my option, and we are 3 ways to the flop, which is the 9 of clubs, the King of clubs, and the 3 of spades. It checks to me, and I throw out a small bet of $5 because I want the crazy lady to call, and sure enough, she does, and the other guy folds, and the turn is the 9 of hearts. Now I throw out a bet of $15 this time, and the crazy lady decides to make it 30 to go. And my eyes probably lit up like a Christmas tree. I call, and the river is the Ace of diamonds. Doesn't change anything for me, obviously. And I throw out a bet of $50 this time, and she tanks for 20 to 45 seconds. But I know she's not going anywhere, and she calls, and I show her the bad news, and she just mucks her cards in frustration. Okay, about 2 orbits later, I have the Ace of Hearts, the Jack of Hearts. I'm in middle position. I'm excited to get in another hand with this crazy lady. I'm hoping she does. I make it 20 to go, and she does call, so I'm very excited about this. Let's go with the crazy lady. The big blind calls, and the small blind also calls, and we go 4 ways to the flop, and we're just running like fire right now. We flop the 9 of hearts, the 8 of hearts, and the Ace of spades. So I have top pair and nut flush draw going. Can't get too much better. It checks to me. I throw out a bet of $50, and sure enough, the crazy lady does call. Let's go. The turn is the 7 of hearts. Got her. Ace high flush. Let's take all her money now. Figure out a way to get her all in. I throw out a bet of $115, and she goes well into the tank, and she does call though. The river is the 10 of spades. I decide to throw it all in there for about $170 effective. She tanks, then asks for a call, and ultimately she's crazy, so she can't let it go, and I show her the bad news. I flip over the ace high flush, and she throws out the 10 of hearts and the 10 of diamonds. She rivered the trips and just couldn't let it go. Give me all the money. Okay, in this hand I have the 8 of clubs, the 4 of clubs. I'm in the big blind. The small blind makes it 11 to go, and I decide to call, and 4 others actually call, and we go 5 ways to the flop, amazingly enough. The flop is a little favorable for us. It's the 5 of clubs, the 6 of hearts, and the 7 of hearts. That's right, flopping straights. That's what we do here at Horseshoe Casino. The small blind bets 25. I call. There's one fold. The crazy lady calls, thank God. The button decides to go all in for 107. After I ask for the official count, I decide to call the 107, and the crazy lady folds, and there's no more action. So we are now heads up to the turn. The turn really doesn't change things too much for me. It might change a lot for the button. It is the king of clubs. Now, the river with no action to go is the 3 of spades of the up and down straight. And after we flip over, I show him in the air what he's up against, and he folds his hand after he says he's got 2 sevens. So he flopped a set of sevens and just ran into the straight. Bad luck for him. Okay, this is the last hand of the session that I'll go over. I have the ace of hearts, the 7 of hearts. I'm in the small blind. There is a $6 button straddle, which I call. It gets to the cutoff, and he actually makes it $18 to go. The big blind and the button calls, and of course I'm not going anywhere. So we go 4 ways to the flop, and the flop comes out the 6 of spades, the ace of diamonds, and the 7 of diamonds. So we got top 2 pair going for us. I am the first to act, and After I look at my cards, I think about my bet size. I decide on $25. The big blind folds and the cutoff folds, only the button calls. The turn is the 5 of spades now. I decide to check it to him because I wanted pot control, and he tanks for a couple seconds but throws out a bet of $45. I decide to go ahead and call the $45. I think that's a decent size, and the river is the wonderful ace of spades. I now have the aces full of sevens. I think about my bet sizing for a good bit because I want him to call, but also want all his money in there if he does have an ace or ace 5. So I decide on a $100 bet. Now he tanks, but not for too long. He decides to ship it all in there. He's got about 150 or 175 left. And as soon as I hear those wonderful words, all in, I flip my cards over after I call, and he shows, of course, the ace of spades and the 5 of hearts. So we are good with the full house over full house. He can't believe it. He's pretty pissed off and throws his cards down and just leaves the table. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you liked. Let me know what you didn't like. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. And don't forget, it doesn't matter how you're living your life, as long as you're living the felt life.